A bag of scrap wood had been left by my back door. By Dickie, aka the village woodwomble. Inside the bag, there were 12 pine bed slats and 2 of the heaviest pieces of wood I've known. Dickie said the heavy wood had come from a pallet, but he was worried that it was that deadly Indian death wood. Just one stray splinter could be deadly. Indian death wood? I've had this wood about 2 weeks, and I've really not had any idea what to do with it. That is, up until now. So I've come up with a plan to use this wood to make £1,000. Yes, £1,000. You see, I need £1,000 for something very, very special. I'll tell you more about that later. So I'm going to make 50 catch-all trays. Yes, 50 catch-all trays. If I want that £1,000, that's what I've got to do. So the pressure's on. I'm not too sure I can do it, but we'll find out. The first job was to remove the round doors on the edges of the bed slats. And then to check for any stray nails in the Indian death wood. Then it was time to break all the wood down into strips about 20mm square. I quickly realised I would need more timber for this project. Dickie had given me this old post a while ago. He used to hold up the village notice board, and it's made of sapele. I'll clean it up and I'll cut it down into strips later. It was time to glue up all the strips. Once these panels are dry, I'm going to cut them into strips again at a 45-degree angle to make some sort of pattern plywood, bed slat, death wood pattern thing. Okay, so I want to cut these into 45-degree strips, and I've seen people do this on the table saw with the fence, but this is quite thin, and I think I'm asking for trouble if I try and do that. So I've put a piece of scrap wood on my crosscut sled at 45 degrees. I put a little stop here, which is 20mm away from the blade, so we'll get 20mm strips of this stuff at a 45 degree, and I can also cut it nice and flush to begin with. Okay, so I did a test glue up of all the little strips and that's worked out really good. Really pleased with that. But the only trouble is, it's going to take me forever to glue up all those little strips, so I need to come up with a different way to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to be here for weeks. Okay, so after a lot of head scratching, this is what I came up with. I've got this piece of melamine faced hardboard, so hopefully the pieces won't stick to it. Let's hope they don't. Some scrap wood for a frame, and I've made some little wedges just to tap in there so that the clamp pressure goes up there and so they won't move. So hopefully that's going to be all right. So now I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, Steve, you can count. 6 pieces at once, which is a lot easier than messing about with clamps. So now it's time to make the actual trays. I made a jig to hold the patterned piece of wood in place. I also made an acrylic base plate for my router, and I'm using a bearing guided ball bit. I also made a template from MDF with my shape of origin. And I took several light passes with the router until I reached the depth that I needed. And the flush trim bit made nice work of the sides. So now I just need to do that 32 more times. This video is sponsored by PCBWare. Not only are they a great support of this channel, they're also great at prototyping and manufacturing PCBs. Not only that, they also do 3D printing and CNC machining. It's easy to use their services. You just upload your design file to their website, and if you're happy with your quote, they'll make it and deliver it to your door. They also have excellent customer services. So thanks PCBWare for sponsoring this video. I've left a link in the description below if you want to use their services. Thanks PCBWare. Yesterday you saw me round over all the edges of the boards and there was some chip out. I then filled it with a 2-part milliput dough and I've left that overnight. So today, sadly, I've got to do everyone's favourite task, sanding. Sanding by hand, sanding in all the little grooves, getting everything lovely, ready for some finish. So I'll put on some nice music, put on some nice podcasts and just go a bit zen and just get in the moment and do some sanding. Who am I kidding? It's going to bore the pants off me. The reason why I want £1,000 is because I want to donate it to a cancer research charity. Sadly, my brother-in-law Andrew died last year from cancer. He was only 56 and he leaves behind a family with 2 children. Cancer affects 1 in 2 of us these days, and I'm sure you've got a friend that's been affected by cancer or even a family member. This has been a long project and sometimes I felt like throwing the towel in, but because I want to raise this money for charity, I've kept on to the end and I'm really pleased with how the trays came out. I've already had orders for 15, so I'm well on my way to raising my £1,000. So thanks to everybody who supported me so far, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.